Hi everyone, 大家好. This is a video mainly made for those who are sitting Selangor paper tomorrow. We have received some tips from students and I have prepared some questions for you all to do your revision. So I do not know which set you will be getting. Okay, but when I'm trying to go through the questions later, I will add some extra information. So hopefully, if your set is different, it still helps you, okay, by watching this video. For my students, you can first download or print this exercise out first. The soft copy is already in your Google Classroom. Okay, you can get the link, I think, together with the video one. So let's look at the first important question. So the first important question is about cooling. Okay, but later I will explain a little bit about heating as well. So you can see there is a graph of temperature against time for cooling of ACE thermite. Cooling is usually when the liquid cools down and freeze into a solid. Okay, for ACE thermite or naphthalene, they are the same. 同样的啊，不管它是 ACE thermite 还是它给你 naphthalene，cooling usually 都是从 liquid 变去一个 solid. So you have to know that this activity is carried out in a setup of apparatus like this. There is a conical flask, and then inside there will be a boiling tube with the ACE thermite of naphthalene. So the reason why they want to do this, 它专门要把它放进这个 conical flask 里面 is to ensure even cooling of naphthalene or ACE thermite. 它把它放在这个东西里面，它就可以确保它能够平均的散热。Okay, next. 我们看第一个题目啊。So they ask, what is the meaning of freezing point? Because definition 有一点长 and then 为了省时间，我已经把答案写在这边的。So some of the 长的 explanation 我都把答案先写下去了。Freezing point what's freezing point? It is the constant temperature. So here is a very important point. Freezing point is the constant temperature. So when you look at the graph, I believe you can see which part is the constant, right? So constant is the part here from the Q to R. But constant temperature. So it's actually this one. So when question asks for freezing point, melting point, or whatever point, the point refers to a temperature. 它要的是一个温度。Please 不要给我 like Q or R as your freezing point. You must give me the temperature 80 with 单位 degrees Celsius. Okay, so constant temperature where a substance change from liquid to solid at a particular pressure. So that's like what I told you just now. Freezing is 从 liquid 变成 solid. So the 下一个题目 state the freezing point of ACE thermite in the experiment. So like what I said just now, freezing point is the constant temperature. So the constant the temperature is 80 度 80 degrees Celsius. Must put the unit. If they label here A, you also have to write A degrees Celsius. 记得就这样。Then the next question, state the type of particles for ACE thermite. Okay, type of particle 是一个很 common 的题目。Every time you see type of particles, you have to give me the answer, atom, molecule, or ion. Only these three, 只有这三个吧。Okay, so how to differentiate whether it is an atom, molecule, or ion? After learning chemistry for like almost a year, I believe now you can do most of the chemical formula. And from the chemical formula, you will be able to tell whether the chemical substance is made of only one atom. Atom means one, 一个一粒的叫 atom. More than one, will be molecule of ion. So for example, CO2 more than one, right? 总共有3个 so it's under more than one 这个 right hand side 的地方 not atom. If it is Na only, then atom lor, one. And then how do I know whether it is molecule or ion? So molecule, usually they are covalent molecule. And ions will be ionic. Means molecules, they are made out of non-metal and non-metal. Ionic, they are made of metal and non-metal. In an easier way, it will be, you just ask yourself, like, are you able to split this into like 2 ions? Okay, like cannot split into ion, right? Then confirm will be molecule. Okay, so let's say I have NaCl. Can it be split into 2 ions, Na plus and Cl minus? Okay, 2 ions. So you can double confirm whether it's an ion or not by looking at the first substance here, whether it is a metal or not. If it is a metal, it will be ion. So for acetamide, with this formula C2H5NO, definitely I'm not able to split it into ion. 我不能够把分不出 ion 的，就会是 molecule。就这样 ，OK。And then 不要弄乱啊 ，type of particles and subatomic particle. Subatomic particles is proton, neutron, and electron. Where proton and neutron 是在 nucleus 里面的 ，electron 是在 shell， 所以是不同的 type of particles 跟 type of subatomic particle. Next, explain why there is no change in temperature from point Q to R. From point Q to R, why there is no temperature change? 为什么它的 temperature 是 constant 的？ 所以你就 have to able to 解释，在这个冷却的过程当中啊 ，particles they come close to one another, okay, because their energy is lost to surrounding. 热能流失 heat loss to surrounding, they will come close to each other. Exactly balanced by the heat energy release in the formation of forces of attraction. So that means when they come close to each other, because they are losing heat, they become very cold already. 它很冷，它就 come close to each other. So they give each other a hug. So 当你抱着你的 friend 的时候 there will be heat energy released to you. So you lose your heat energy, and then you got the energy back from your friend. So 减一加一 this is why it is constant, 没有改变. Okay, so the heat energy is released during the formation of forces of attraction. So that means 它跟它抱在一起的时候，它会拿到这个热能。So between the particles to form a solid. So again, 等下你要写这个答案 heat loss to surrounding is exactly balanced by the heat energy release in the formation of force of attraction between particles to form solid. 就这样 Okay, and then I will be giving you some like extra information. So let's say they want you to sketch this curve out. 当你画这个东西出来啊，记得啊，这个东西啊，通常都是没有去到零的啊。Okay, usually it doesn't goes down to 0 because imagine you did the experiment, right, in the school. Do you put this into the fridge? No, right? Then it won't go to 0 degrees Celsius, right? Unless it is a special experiment, they give you the graph already. It starts from 0, then 你就会看到有 0. Okay, but normally when they want you to draw, like the activity you did, you learn in your syllabus, it doesn't go down to 0, 1. So they can also ask you to draw or sketch the heating curve. So when they give you freezing, the cooling curve, they want you to sketch the heating curve. You just do a reflection of the cooling curve. Okay, make sure this part, they are curvy. Make sure it is not too sharp. Because if it is too sharp, teacher don't give you mark one. Okay, and you can see this part also don't start with 0. Because when you are heating the substance, it actually starts from room temperature. Okay, and then they're supposed to stop at the same point. Because freezing point and melting point, they are the same. Just like that. So if the question asks you why temperature remains constant at during the melting process, your answer will be heat energy absorbed is used to overcome the forces of attraction between the particles to form liquid. So basically, it is the opposite. Particles 吸收热能 and then 它用这个热能来 overcome the force of attraction. So they can separate apart, okay, and becomes liquid. 就这样 Okay, so next question, 第二题so 你可以try to pause video， 把刚才的那一题的答案写进去先 ，OK，and then 你也可以把一些刚才你 miss out 了的一些可能 important 的地方一些小小的东西你要把它写起来的，你都可以把它写起来了。Okay, question 2. After finish doing your question 1, okay, here is the question 2. So diagram below shows the standard representation of atoms of 3 elements from the group 17. So standard representation, 什么是 standard representation? 这个东西叫 standard representation， 一定要会这个 format 叫做 standard representation。上面写的是 nucleon number， 下面写的是 proton。Okay, what's nucleon? Nucleon is the total of proton plus neutron. 所以如果你要找到 neutron 你就会拿 proton 所以把这个 nucleon 里面的 proton 减掉它，80减掉35就可以拿到 neutron 了。OK， 这样子。然后 proton 跟 electron 的数量是一样。OK， 在这边 what is represented by 35 35 35 is the proton number， 就这样。State the number of valence electron of bromine atom。所以在这边proton number 也就是相等于 electron 35个它已经超过20了，就是已经超过你的能力范围，你的 syllabus 范围能够做到的了。So usually in your syllabus, electron maximum is only up to 20. So whenever it's more than 20, the electron arrangement will be slightly different. They can use up to like 18 or 32 electrons in the shell. So, how do I know how there will be how many valence electrons in the bromine atom? So they told you that it is in group 17. Group 17 means they will be having 7 valence electrons. Because valence electron is used to determine the group. If it is 281, then it will be in group 1. 282, group 2. But when it goes to 283, it will be group 13 and onwards. Okay, before I go through the next question, okay, the tip says color and physical state is important. Okay, so what's the color for these 3 halogens? Okay, so you have to know the correct sequence now, okay, in the periodic table. If you do not know the correct sequence, please refer to the periodic table given at the back. 你的考卷后面会有给你一个periodic table 的，你就看它正确的排列 ，OK？ So fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. All the fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine has 2. Don't forget to write the 2 if they ask for equation. So you have to remember the color and physical states of these 3 substances. Okay, usually they don't use fluorine because fluorine is very reactive. Okay, so the one that is being used in the experiment is usually these 3. Chlorine is greenish yellow. Bromine is reddish brown. And iodine is purplish black. And then you have to remember the physical state. Physical state, chlorine is a gas. 就是这3个重要的 it is gas, liquid, solid. So if it is above chlorine, then it will be gas as well. If it is below iodine, it will be solid as well. 就这样子. So if they ask you, oh, what is the color of bromine? Reddish brown. What's the physical state? Liquid. Physical state, solid, liquid gas. Okay. Then, yeah, no more. State the position. So it says, the tip says position is important. So position of whatever elements in the periodic table, you have to be able to explain it. So first, to be able to mention the position of the element in the periodic table, you need electron arrangement. Okay, you need electron arrangement most of the time. So let's say 2881. As I told you just now, valence electron tells you the group. And then the number of shell tells you the period. So what if they ask me bromine in the periodic table? I do know the electron arrangement now. So as I said, don't worry. The exam paper will give you a full periodic table one. You just go to the periodic table and refer. Okay, then you will know that it is in group 17, period 4. Okay, let's say it doesn't give me periodic table in paper 1, right? How do I know that bromine is group 17, period 4? So first, you have to memorize that. Halogen group 17, right? And then the sequence. Fast, as I told you last time in the class, fast car bang into a tree. You'll be like, hey, I thought this is the 3rd one, but don't forget, fluorine starts with an electron arrangement of 2-7. So 2 shell, 3 shell, 4 shell. So bromine will be group 17, period 4. So, and then when you explain it, remember I said just now our group is valence electron, so it is in group 17 because it has 7 valence electron. Period 4, 4 shells occupied with electron. Must write occupied with electron. And then one more thing, when you are giving explanation, especially periodic table, 当你在给解释的时候 you must write term. Okay, bromine atom has 7 valence electron because all these electrons is found in the atom one. So 一定要写 atom 啊。So important this one. Okay, what is the basic principle used in arranging the element in the periodic table of element? Basic principle. So that means how they decide which element come first and come later in the periodic table. 它怎样排的？它讲到 hydrogen 是第一个 ，helium 是第二个。It is according to the ascending order of proton number， 就是 proton number 的顺序。在 periodic table 的第一个 element 就有一个 proton 咯 ，helium 2 proton 这样子。OK， then next。Okay， 同样啊，记得啊 ，pause the video and then try to do the question just now. Okay, write one time, then only you will know whether you can do or not. Okay, next. Write a balanced chemical equation for the reaction between hydrochloric acid and calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Hydrochloric acid, HCl. Okay, how to get the product in a chemical reaction? What we will do is we will always try to use our shortcut. Okay, use our shortcut, the exchange partner shortcut. We will first list out their ion. 把它的 ion 写出来啊，然后交换它的老婆啊。Okay, see 啊 ，list out the ion， 交换老婆。Okay, 交换老婆。So 交换啊 ，Ca2 plus Cl minus H plus CO3 2 minus. Ca2 plus and Cl minus will get us CaCl2. Okay, and then H plus CO3 2 minus, a lot of people will write H2CO3 plus. But please remember 啊，记得，我跟你讲过的 ，OK， for 这个 acid 加 carbonate 的东西，它其实不会拿到 H2CO3 的，在你的 syllabus 你基本上没有什么机会会写到这个 H2CO3 的。So every time you get this H2CO3, please don't write it down as H2CO3. Must remember to split it into H2O and CO2. Because 我跟你讲过，我们的 shortcut 有一个缺点 ，OK， our shortcut is not able to find to predict reaction that come with 3 products. So what we have to do is we have to remember specifically H2CO3 must separate to H2O and CO2. So this equation is going to be CaCl2 plus H2O and CO2. Every time you write equation, don't forget to balance it. So here will be 2HCl. Name the gas released in the reaction. 什么 gas release? Carbon dioxide gas. And then calculate the mass of calcium carbonate reacted with hydrochloric acid. So they might ask you to do calculation, but I don't know which information they give you. Maybe they will give you the volume of gas. Okay, so the gas release is maybe like 10 dm cube, something like that. But it's okay. When you are doing this kind of question, usually it will be 2 to 3 marks. And it is actually very easy to identify this type of question. 很容易就可以知道它是要做这种问题 because they want you to find the mass of calcium carbonate. But the information, the value they give you is another substance. 就是我要你找的是 calcium carbonate. I want you to find calcium carbonate. But I go give you the information of another substance. Okay? As long as it is this kind of question, the things they want you to find and the value they gave you are 2 different chemical substances. This is the type of question that you have to use equation, you have to use ratio. Because there are two different substances, so you must use ratio to predict the mole of another substance. So there will be 3 steps. So first step, we will be always calculating the mole of the given value. Let's say they gave me hydrochloric acid. I have to find the mole of HCl. When you are writing your answer, please remember, 记得要写清楚来你在做什么，不要一来就直接写那个算式。你要给人家知道 ，OK， 我在算 HCl，I'm calculating HCl now. So they gave me volume and concentration 啊。OK， 一个很重要的东西啊 ，a very silly mistake that student would do is they will straight away take this 1.0 as their mole. No, this is mole per dm cube. It means concentration. So in order to find mole from volume and concentration, this is the formula that we learned in chapter 6. Mole equals to mv over 1000. That will get us 0.025 mole. Okay, so this is the first step. I have found the mole of HCl. Now, I'm going to do the second step. 在考试不用画线啊，考试 no need, exam no need draw the line one. 我画线只让你更容易看到。The second step is comparing the ratio. Okay, when you are comparing the ratio, right? Some school teacher, they will ask you to write sentence. So please remember this part. If your school teacher say, okay, you can use shortcut, you can use shortcut, then you can write this way. So if your school teacher wants you to write it in sentence form, okay, and later I will show you how to do it. So when we are comparing ratio, the left-hand side is always the given substance, okay, the given value, compared to what they want you to find. So what you want to find, put it on the right-hand side. 要找的 find 右边 So 左手边 we already got the ratio here in the equation. Get it from the equation first. 2 HCl. That means you just take the number only. 2 HCl, put 2 lor. The CaCO3 in front got no number, right? Then you put 1 lor. Then you bring this number over here. The one that you calculated, 0.025. Then you do the ratio, lor. 2:1, 0.025 is to 0.0125. Okay, so how to do this thing in a sentence form? Okay, if your school teacher wants you to write sentence, you write sentence from the equation. Two mole of HCl react with 1 mole of CaCO3. Basically, you're just turning this thing into words. 2:1. So therefore, zero point 0.025 mole of HCl reacts with 0.0125 mole of CaCO3. This is the sentence that 可以取代代替掉这个东西 to replace this. Okay, so it depends on which pattern your teacher wants. If the teacher wants shortcut, give shortcut. If the teacher wants sentence, give sentence. Must follow your teacher's pattern. If you don't know the pattern, you better ask your friend first. Okay, so we got the mole of CaCO3 already. Now we are going to move this here. To calculate the mass of CaCO3, like what the question asked for. So 3 steps, that's why 3 marks. So 0.0125 equals to mass over molar mass. Okay, molar mass of CaCO3, CaCO3, which will be equals to 100 lah, okay? So it will be 12.5 grams, if I'm not mistaken lah. Like that. Okay, can. So you can see the given value will always be on the left-hand side, left-hand side. The things they want you to find will always be on the right-hand side, right-hand side. Just like that. So I also created another like 2 types of questions here at the below, which you can try it out yourself. Okay, I will give you the answer as well. Okay, so here, same thing. The mole of HCl is the same thing. But this time they want me to find the volume of gas release. So you see, this time they want gas release is CO2. So according to the equation, it is 2 to 1. 0.025 is to 0.0125. To find the volume, we use the formula volume over molar volume. Molar volume is already given, 24. So you are going to get 0.3 dm3, like that. Okay, just in case, the question started with volume of gas. So they say, this reaction produced 3 dm3 of gas. Please find the mass of calcium carbonate. How you do? Let's say they give you this, and want you to find the mass. Same thing, starting from the value given, you find the mole of CO2, lor. They give you volume, then you use the formula volume over molar volume, which is 0.0125. Then you compare the ratio, lor. It is 1 to 1, like that. Okay, so the value they give you can be from a different substance. I don't know which one they are going to give you, but start from the given substance, find more ratio to what you want to find. Okay, then lastly, this is a special type of question. I don't know whether they ask you this way or not. It is 10 grams of calcium carbonate added into hydrochloric acid. Find the mass of unreacted calcium carbonate. 就是要你找出还没有用到的多余的 calcium carbonate. The steps will be exactly the same as this one. Because 它最终要我找的还是 mass of calcium carbonate. The one they want you to find is mass of calcium carbonate. So I will put it on the right hand side. So start from hydrochloric acid. I find the mole ratio and then everything. I will get the mass 12.5. So that means the value that I set here is too small already. Wait, let me. Sorry, I know why already. This value is supposed to be 0.0125. Can you see? Sorry, 0.0125. So it's supposed to be 1.25 grams. Sorry. So the mass that we found here is the mass of calcium carbonate used. 就是会用到的，会产生反应的是 1.25. So we have to, after you do all the steps above, you have to use 10 grams to minus the 1.25 grams that is used. To get 8.75 grams unreacted. Unreacted 是多余的 extra one means excess. Okay, just like that. Okay, so same thing. Pause and try to do all this calculation equation in this page. And then I will move on to question 4. Okay, so question 4 is about empirical formula. Okay, so empirical formula, you have to know there are 2 types of empirical formula. It can be the empirical formula of CuO. It can be the empirical formula of MgO. 2 different experiments, and they are used different methods for different metal. Cannot mix one. Okay, so for the CuO method, it looks more complicated. Okay, so let's see. Go through the diagram, see what they have and what are the purpose of all these things. So here, the reaction, okay, the reaction mainly is the front part, okay. So here, you have hydrochloric acid and also zinc. So 前面的部分主要是要产生 hydrogen gas. So HCl reacts zinc is going to produce zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. So this hydrogen gas is the gas needed to react with the copper 2 oxide. 所以它产生的这个 H2 是为了要跟 CuO react 的。OK， 考试可能会叫你写 equation 的，they might ask you to write the equation. Don't forget to balance it. Okay, so the hydrogen gas will flow into the glass tube here and then react with the copper 2 oxide. So copper 2 oxide react with H2 to produce Cu plus H2O. How I know? As I told you just now in don't know which question, list out the ion first. List out the ion first. Cu2 plus, O2 minus, H plus, exchange partner. Exchange partner. So H plus and O2 minus H2O. Cu alone, no more girlfriend, then cannot put charge already one. Like that. Or another way is you remember, chemical equation can never find any charge. One, there will be no any charge in the chemical equation. And the chemical equation 里面是不可能会写到 charge 的，不可能。Okay, so just like that. So the reason they want to do this is they want to see inside the CuO, let's say 10 grams. They want to know after the reaction, there will be how many grams of Cu left. Maybe after the reaction is 7 grams of Cu left. Then they know, oh, the oxygen that when we see 那个不见了的 oxygen 会是3个 gram. Okay, then this is how they got the result. Okay, and then this part, right, the glass tube is inserted into the water, is actually to check whether there is hydrogen gas flowing or not. Because you cannot see hydrogen gas, right? So when the hydrogen gas flow into the water, you will see bubble of bloop, 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 like that. So if no more bloop, bloop, bubble, come here, bloop, 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 that means no more already. This part you have to add, maybe you have to change another set. Okay. So, as told you, as mentioned in the tips, okay, empirical formula, meaning is important. This one, chemical formula that shows the simplest ratio of the number of atoms of each element in a compound. You have to memorize that, okay? You have to write down the whole thing. Otherwise, they will minus one. The simplest ratio, number of atoms of each element. Each element means each type. It's like for this question, got Cu, got O. Cu and O, the type of chemical is element. How many atoms are there? So there's one Cu, one O, like that. And then in getting the empirical formula of the oxide of copper, you have to know how to draw this table. The table is element, the type, and then mass mole ratio. Mass mole ratio. Okay, how to find the mass leh? Okay, to find the mass of Cu, actually very simple one. 它有给你这个表很简单的，你看啊 ，you want copper 嘛 ，right? You want copper, so you would just, if you just want the copper, you would minus off the mass of the glass tube. So 你就看咯，这个表里面哪里一个是 the mass of glass tube? Okay, so this one is the mass of glass tube, right? We don't want this, we want to minus it off. So we are going to use the third one here to minus the first one. So I write down here 40.25 minus of 32.25. Yeah, to get how many grams? 8 grams. And then when you draw the table, remember to put the unit here. So oxygen is the same, no? If you want to find the oxide, you doesn't want glass tube, you doesn't want copper, right? Okay, so this is the mass of glass tube and copper. So you use the 2, the second one to minus the third one to get how many grams? 2 grams. Okay, then you use the value to divide the molar mass, because you want to find mole, right? Mass over molar mass. It gives you already one. Cu is 64. And then the 2 divided by 60. Both also get 0.125. Okay, so that means if you do know what are the elements, you can also look at the relative atomic mass one. Okay, Cu and O. And then to find the ratio, actually for this like same number, it's very obvious that their ratio is 1:1, right? So if it's actually okay to skip this one. 如果你已经知道它是1:1了的话，这个东西这样明显是可以不用写这个部分。But then if you still want to show the steps lah, okay, this is what you can do. Normally, we will. Okay, wait Okay, normally it's like that one. Let's say the number is different lah. Okay, this is what you will do. You will bring the number down, and then divide by the smaller one. In this case, both are the same. Then divide the same. Let's say this one is 0.5. Then you bring it down, it will be 0.5 divided by the smaller one, 0.125. 这样子. And then if your exam questions happens to get 1.5, let's say your ratio is 1.5 and 2, don't round up. Don't round up to become 2. Don't. You should times 2 the 1.5. And also times 2 the 2 to become 3 and 2. If 3 and 2, 1.5 and 2. After you times 2, you get 3 and 4. So when you get 1.5, you times 2. Okay? For both sides, if it is 1.5 and 1, times 2, then it becomes 3 and 2, just like that. Okay, simplest ratio, 1:1. Empirical formula, CuO, just like that. Next. State how to determine that the reaction between copper oxide and hydrogen has completed. This is a very popular question. So how do you know that the reaction has completed? You have to repeat, heating, cooling, and weighing 3 processes. That means you have to repeat it 你烧了过后，让它冷了，然后再称它的重量。You heat, cool down, you get the mass, then repeat until a constant mass is obtained. So 一直重复到你拿到 constant 的 mass 为止，就代表它已经完成了。Okay, very modern this one. Okay. Next. This is also a popular question. Empirical formula of magnesium oxide cannot be determined by using this method. So as I told you, magnesium oxide supposed to use this method. So why magnesium oxide cannot use this one leh? The reason is because if I change this to magnesium, magnesium and hydrogen is not going to have reaction. Because in this reaction, what the hydrogen do is, the hydrogen will steal away people's girlfriend. Okay, if you want to steal away people's girlfriend, you must be very handsome, you must be like better, right? So that means more reactive. Hydrogen can steal people's girlfriend because it's more reactive. And then the copper is less reactive. That's why 他的女朋友会被抢掉. But then when I now change to magnesium already, magnesium is more reactive. And then the hydrogen becomes less reactive. Then it is not able to steal people's girlfriend already. So our answer here will be magnesium is more reactive than hydrogen gas. So what are the other metal that use the same method as CuO? So CuO is called copper 2 oxide, right? Copper 2 oxide. So you just give example, those example that has 2, like iron 2 oxide, lead 2 oxide. Those are the example that is same to the CuO. Okay, like that. Next. So this is the empirical formula of magnesium oxide. As you can see, they heat the magnesium ribbon in the crucible. By the way, the tip say you have to know how to draw the apparatus. I do know which part they want you to draw. Sometimes they might remove this one. They will put a box here. So you have to know how to draw this part. Okay. This tube don't insert the tube into water. So you better study the apparatus setup also, how to draw it. Okay, they might ask you to draw this one also. I don't know which one come out, but you have to know how to draw. According to the tip say, have to know how to draw. Okay, then same definition. State the type of particles. You see, type of particles again, atom, molecule, ion. For the product form, okay, let me write the equation first. In this reaction, magnesium is very reactive. It can burn with oxygen directly to form MgO. So MgO, you can see, is more than one already, right? More than one, then not possible to be atom. So the only answer now is magnesium, and is magnesium. The only answer left of type of particles will be molecule or ion. This one can be split into Mg2 plus, O2 minus, 可以分成 ion, right? 分成 ion, ion, okay? And then you can double check and see whether the first element here is metal or not. 你就可以看一下是不是 metal. Okay, 是的话 confirm, double confirm, ion. Just like that. Okay, so before we start heating the magnesium, they can ask you a question, which is why we have to clean it with sandpaper. Before you heat the magnesium, you have to clean it with sandpaper. Cleaning with sandpaper is to remove the oxide layer on the magnesium ribbon. 就是它放久了，它会氧化。There is a layer of oxide on the magnesium. So you have to use sandpaper. 你要用砂纸擦掉它。Okay. Next. How to determine the reaction is completed? Same as the one just now. Repeat 3 processes until a constant mass is obtained. Okay. Sorry, I missed out a question here. When carrying out the experiment, why does the crucible lid needs to be opened once in a while? When we are heating this substance, magnesium, we will open and close the lid like every few seconds. I mean, like you open it, once it starts burning, then you close it. It's like continuing. Okay, open like that. Okay, and then close a bit. I open a bit, close a bit. The reason is because, okay, I open it is to allow oxygen gas to enter. Open, then only oxygen can go in, ma. Allow oxygen enter into the crucible so that it can react with magnesium, no? But then, okay, why don't we just open the lid? Since you want oxygen to react with magnesium, just open it. Then oxygen can always react with magnesium. So here comes the reason why we have to close it. So we close it is because we want to prevent the white fumes of magnesium oxide from escaping into the air. 我们要避免那个它烧了的那个灰啊，那个白色的烟那种跑掉，因为它跑掉过后，那个重量就被影响到了啊，哈，跑掉重量就被影响到了。Next， find the mass 啊 ，mass 很简单，像我刚才跟你讲的 ，if you want the mass of magnesium，okay，I want magnesium only 啊 ，I don't want crucible，I don't want lead 啊 ，then I use 这个 1 2 3啊，2 minus 1哦，减掉这个的重量。Then I want oxygen 嘛 ，oxide here 啊 ，I do want magnesium, do want crucible, do want lead 啊，do want this 哦，this 3哦，3 minus 2，你就可以拿到答案了。OK，which is equals to 一个2.4，一个1.6啦。OK，and then 它叫你算 mole，所以这个是不同的题目。刚才是要你画一个表的，它直接来3分4分，叫你 determine empirical formula，就是要直接画这个 table。可是这种一个步骤一个步骤叫你做的 ，calculate the number of mole 啊，你就不用画表咯，你就可以。可是你要写清楚啊，你在算 mole of copper。mole of oxygen 这样子啊，mole of oxygen 啊，mole of oxygen atom，sorry， 这样我还是写名字比较好啦。mole of oxygen atom， 这个是 mole of copper atom。0.1 0.1咯。Can the empirical formula of lead 2 oxide be determined by using this method? Just like I told you 嘛 all the 有 2 2 2的这个的 is use the copper 2 oxide method. So cannot 啦。Why cannot 呢？ Because lead is a less reactive metal. 它不够 reactive， 不够 reactive to 直接跟 oxygen 这样子烧起来。It must be reactive enough so it can burn directly in oxygen. 所以这种差的 metal 都是要用回刚才的那个差的人要去被人家抢老婆，把厉害的可以直接跟 oxygen 烧在一起。So what are the other metals that can use the MgO method 呢？ It is like zinc, calcium, aluminium 这些啊。Normally we doesn't write 2的啊，这样子。But don't write sodium or potassium those lah. Okay, maybe it's a bit reactive. So try to write this like zinc. Zinc is the best one lah. Magnesium and zinc always together one. Okay. 就这样。Okay so that try to 做这个问题。OK， pause 你的 video 做你的问题。And 下一题。下一题 Question 5 is about periodic table. So the given 这个东西 information 叫做 standard representation， 刚才我们前面讲过了 ，nucleon and proton。Okay, so they can ask you to draw the electron arrangement. Okay, they can ask you to draw the electron arrangement. Make sure you know how to draw electron arrangement 啊。这个 I think everybody 都会。可是有一个东西你要小心的是啊 ，when they ask you to draw electron arrangement, they can ask, let's say example this one, they can ask you to draw the electron arrangement of sodium atom or sodium ion. Different one. If they want you to draw sodium atom, then simple. 281, you just draw the 281. Okay, must have nucleus and then 281. That one is electron arrangement of sodium atom. But whenever they want ion means already stable. Stable already, then cannot 281. It has to be 28. And ion also come with charge, right? Na is 1 plus, so you have to bracket and then put a plus. If 2 plus, then you write 2 plus. Just like that. So 记得electron arrangement 有分 atom 跟 ion。然后 other than this, they can also ask you to draw atomic structure. Atomic structure is similar to electron arrangement one. 它跟 electron arrangement 很相似，可是它中间这边它的 nucleus 我们就不会写 Na。The nucleus we write proton and neutron 对，做我放 P 两个 proton and neutron， 不是 nucleon 是 neutron then 你才画281，所以它的中间的地方不同 for atomic structure。好，在这边state one use of the element argon. Argon group 18 right? How I know according to the number of electron 288 group 18. Group 18 we have helium, neon, argon 三个常驻的。What are their uses? Helium is used to fill 就是它是一个 gas 来的嘛，装进去 weather balloon. Okay. Neon is used to fill it's used to fill advertising light. Okay, neon is like 霓虹灯 fill advertising light. And then argon is used to fill up electric bulbs or light bulbs, 就是灯泡。Okay so 不要忘记写 fill 这个字没有写 fill 没有分because helium 不是拿来做气球的它是拿来装进气球里面。Okay. So argon is used to fill up the light bulbs. State one similarities between the element in diagram form. So this is 281, 287, 288. All of them are in period 3. Okay, you can see that they are all in period 3. You can also say they have 3 shells occupied with electrons. Okay, 你可以讲它有3个 shell， 你也可以讲它都在 period 3。Okay, then next, why argon does not react with chlorine? Why argon is not reactive? Why is it? 不要忘记另外一个字The word to replace unreactive is inert. Why is it chemically inert? Means 不 reactive. Because the argon atom has achieved stable octet electron arrangement. The one we say ASOEA. If example change to helium, helium electron arrangement is 2 then you have to write the word achieve stable duplet electron arrangement. If they give you helium and argon together, then you will write stable duplet or octet. 就看它有什么。有 duplet 你写 duplet，octet 写 octet，两个就写两个。And then don't forget to write the word atom. So stable octet electron arrangement. Therefore, the atom does not need to donate, receive, or share electron with the other elements. Because they're asking you why it doesn't react with chlorine. It does not need to. I already stable. I got stable electron arrangement already. 我不需要跟 chlorine donate, receive, or share electron. Okay, you can write with chlorine now, okay, of course. Next, then structure group name. So name of the group, this is group 1. Group 1 is called alkali metal. Group 17 is halogens. And then group 18 is noble gas. Noble gases also can have alkaline metals like that. Want to put S or no S also can one and don't care one, okay? So yeah. Next. So table 4 shows the electron arrangement of element X and Y. 281, 2881. So in the group 1, please remember the first element in the periodic table is hydrogen. After hydrogen, 才是 lithium, natrium, right? Lithium, sodium, potassium. So the electron arrangement start with 2, 1. As I said, 你忘记了的话 please 看考卷给你的 periodic table, refer to the periodic table given in your exam paper. Then you will know what are these substances. State one physical property of element X and Y. So physical property usually 都是要写 about melting boiling point. 你可以写 melting boiling point. 你可以写 electrical conductivity. For group 1, 17, 18, 最简单的是 electrical conductivity. Like 这个可以 conduct electricity because it's a metal. And then the 17 and 18, they are non-metal, they cannot conduct electricity. 最简单的 can conduct electricity. Okay, does element X and Y shows the same chemical properties? Okay. Chemical properties means how they react with the others, how they interact with others. 简单的来讲就是how they become stable. So similar chemical properties means they use the same way to become stable. X and Y use the same way to become stable? Oh, yes. Why? Because you can see, this one, how to become stable, donate one, right? How do you decide? 你将决定是 donate one 的？你看它的最后面的号码嘛 ，right? So when you are giving explanation on how to become stable, the chemical properties, it is because atom X and Y have the same number of valence electrons. Have the same number of valence electrons. Okay, then next. So they show you the experiment to compare the reactivity of group 1 with oxygen. Okay, don't care whether it's with oxygen or with water. You always have to know. Okay, state one observation when element X and Y, they are burned in oxygen. When they are burned in oxygen, they burn with different color of flame. So lithium, sodium, potassium. 我跟你讲过，我们用红绿灯 traffic light to remember the color of the flame. The first one is red light. The second one is yellow light. But the last one is not green light. It's lilac. Lilac means 紫红色. So here, see which one I want to write. Let's say I want to write X. X is what? 281 sodium. Okay, so I will write sodium burns brightly with a yellow flame. I mean X lah, okay? We don't write sodium, I write X. So if it is element Y, okay, element X burns brightly with a yellow flame. Element Y burns very brightly with a lilac flame. 就这样. Then they want us to compare the reactivity. 你看啊，一个是 brightly, another one is very brightly. So from here we can tell that element Y is more reactive than element X. So if you ask me like, hey, when to write element, when to write atom. So when you are mentioning like, okay, oh, this one more reactive than another one, like 那个东西，你在讲那个东西，谁比较厉害的话，来谁是写 element 的。Then when to write atom, explanation always have to write atom. So now they want me to explain and don't forget they are comparing so the explanation here has to be given in a comparison form. So here we have to say atomic size of Y is bigger or larger than atom X. Again, the atomic size of the atom Y is bigger than atom X. So that means the first point, okay, for periodic table, okay, they want you to explain group 17, the melting boiling point, group 17, the reactivity, group 1 reactivity, group 1 melting boiling point. The first point will always go with size. Okay, don't have, when we write size already, we don't have to write atom Y has more shell than the atom X, no need. Because 有比较多的 shell 就代表是比较大，选一个来写就可以了。Then the second point is always force of attraction. So 不要忘记啦，要写 force of attraction. Force of attraction, 什么的 force of attraction? Force of attraction between nucleus and valence electron. In atom Y is weaker than atom X. Because 它的 size 比较大，OK， 它们的距离比较远哦。let's say 我这样子画了，我画一圈咯。The nucleus and the valence electron become further away. Then the force of attraction become weaker咯。Don't forget 不要忘记写，不要忘记写 valence 很重要要捐 electron 的东西要写 valence Okay. So lastly, atom Y is easier to donate its valence electron than atom X. 其实写到这边就 OK 了，没有问题的。如果你要写长一点，或者是你的老师，好像我以前的老师跟我讲，不可以，一定要再写长一点。Must write longer already. Longer a bit. Like this is not complete. Then we have to write to Achieve stable octet electron arrangement. Achieve stable octet electron arrangement. I mean, have to write in full sentence. I cannot use short form, of course. Okay, just like that. But usually, if you stop here, also can. Okay, 就这样. Now, it is time to write equation. Write a balanced equation for the reaction. Okay, they want the product formed in the reaction between element X with oxygen dissolved in water. So first, I'm going to write an equation between X and oxygen. We know that X is sodium, but when they want me to write equation of X and oxygen, we don't put the Na in, we use back X. But I will always use the Na as a draft to make sure that my equation is correct. So Na plus oxygen. What's the product? Repeated many times. Write the ion first. Write the ion first. Don't always go like Na plus O2, NaO2. This is for weak people. Good student always will list out the ion and think, okay, Na2. Like that. Then you balance it. 2 and 4. Then only you change it back to X. Copy the whole thing, change Na to X. 4X plus O2, 2X2O. Like this is the easiest one. Okay, so this is the reaction between X and oxygen. And they say they want the product form, this one, dissolved in water. So I have to write another one that is Na2O plus H2O. So what I get? Same. I write the ion first. Okay, O2 minus, when listing out the ion for water, O2 minus is one of the mistakes that students will make. When you are listing out ions for water, remember, don't put O2 minus. It is OH minus. Okay. Exchange partner, Na plus and OH minus together, NaOH. H plus, O2 minus supposed to get H2O, right? But in one equation, 在一个 equation 里面，你不会找到同样的东西在左边跟右边的。You are not going to find the same thing on left and right. So 不要再写多一次了。Already got water on left hand side. Don't copy it. Don't write another text on the product side. Then your equation is just like that, Change it back to X after you balance it. So X2O plus H2O equals to 2XOH. Okay, and then there is another type of equation. So reaction with oxygen, this one with water, there's another one. It is Na directly with water. Same, list out the ion. And then exchange. Na plus OH minus. H plus itself, H plus 自己一个人要把它变成 H2 Hydrogen gas is always H2. Balance the equation 2, 2, 2. 就这样. So whatever equation they want you to write, don't worry, just like that. You do a draft already, then you change the element back to the unknown. 就这样. Next, diagram 2 shows the part of periodic table. PQR, ST, and U are not the actual symbol of element. Write the electron ratio of R atom. R atom, group 17. Period 2, group 17. period 2. So it's supposed to have 2 number and then 2.7. Just in case you don't know, refer back to the periodic table. They will tell you what is the proton number one. Then you just put it into 27. Okay, next. Element R and S are placed in the same group in the periodic table of elements. What is the name of the group? R and S, they are placed in group 17 called halogen. Which element is chemically inert? Inert means unreactive. So the answer will be element T. You see, by telling them like, okay, or which one, who, is element T. 谁啊？哪里一个啊？是写 element， 解释就写 actor。State one special characteristic of element U. Okay, element U is a transition element. 一定要知道 transition element has 4 special characteristics. The first one is they can form colored ions or compounds. 就是它可以形成有颜色的东西。They can form complex ion. They have more than one oxidation number. That means more than one charge like iron, Fe2 加 Fe3 加。Then last, can be used as catalyst. They can act as a catalyst, 催化剂。Okay, 接下来 arrange the atomic size of PQRSTU in an ascending order. 顺序啊 ，okay. How to 做这个顺序 ？Okay, you have to know when going down a group, atoms get bigger because they are having more shell. So the smaller part is always on the top. 上面一定是比较小的啊。So always start from the top. Start from the top row. Okay, left or right hand side 咧 Okay, when going down, vertical 啊，直直的下去是变大啊 bigger. Then when you go horizontally, it's like opposite. Go vertically is going down bigger. Horizontally going across the period smaller. So the smallest element is always on your top right corner. So start from the top right corner. You go row by row, row by row. So that means the answer will be T, smallest, R, Q, P, S, and U. Row by row. Okay, next. Question 5C. State the element they can combine to form ionic compound. For periodic table, sometimes they come out things like this. They ask you element they can combine to form ionic compound. So you have to know ionic compound is formed between metal and non-metal. Metals come from group 1, 2, 13. Non-metal of the ionic compound 15, 16, 17. So let's see what is in the group 1, 2, and 13. We have U and Y, right? Can we simply take anyone? Any of U or Y? The answer is cannot. Because U, the first element is hydrogen. This is a special case. This is not a metal, by the way. So the only one we can use is Y. So element Y is my metal. Okay, so after group 13, I need something on the right hand side. So Y is in the group 1, it donates electron. Then I choose the easiest one, donate to X. Because X is 287, this one 281. Donate to the X. Or you want to write W, can or not? Can. W is 2.6. So it can also donate 2 electrons to W. And then, okay. After you know what are the elements that's going to combine already, the next question they like to ask you is the formula. Oh, so if Y and X combine, what is the formula? 不要 confuse chemical formula and chemical equation is different Chemical equation is the something like 那个长长的 formula 是这样子的 ，Y 跟 X 结合 ，Y is 287 X is 287. Y is 281, X is 287. Donate 1, receive 1. 你就问你自己咯，它讲变 stable. Donate 1, receive 1. Exchange 1 1 YX. So this is the chemical formula. If just now you go for Y and W, 281, 2.6, donate 1, receive 2, 2, 1. Y2W. Okay, can so this is how you get the formula. Okay, next. By the way, Y and V cannot because V is in group 14 no group 14 for ionic compound. Next question, you see, they say V and W react to form a compound. V and W, you see, both on the right hand side means non-metal, non-metal. Especially when they use group 14, it will be a covalent. So they ask for chemical formula. How to do? Same steps. VW 2.4287. To become stable, we need 4. Needs 1. Crossed 1 4. VW4. Okay. Just like state the type of bond in compound Z. Type of bond. Okay, VW4 is what kind of bond? Covalent bond. Because non-metal and non-metal share electron. Okay. Question 6. I take a break first. I continue to record the part 2 later.